everybody. Welcome to Mega Wellness Summit Live. I am here with Hope Fitzgerald, and this is a very cool, different kind of class because this is all about you. This is your time to ask questions. I'm so excited that for all the callers that are with us live today, and truly grateful. This is an opportunity that not many people get. So it's great to have some time with Hope and get to know who she is and what she does and how she can help you. Like I said in my emails that Hope can help you with crossroads. That's the biggest way that I can explain things, is that we all come to these points in our life where we have to make decisions, whether it's a big decision or a small decision. We all have to make them. And sometimes we don't know if we're choosing the right path. So for instance, if you think that you should be moving to a different neighborhood, across the country, to another state, I'll just give you an example. I believe it was last summer, I had my first session with Hope, and I was at a crossroad because there was this bill that was passing in California. It was SB 277, and it was about not allowing your children to go to school if they were not vaccinated. And so my children are not vaccinated, and so I felt like I had to come to a crossroad. I had moved from Wisconsin, where we have basically free rights to do what we will. Then I come to California, and I'm just like completely hit with this new law that you cannot go to public school unless your children are vaccinated. So it really rocked my world and was a complete violation of free choice in my life. So that's when I got on the phone with Hope, and we talked about what to do in different scenarios, and maybe opening up my own school for children. We talked about all those different things, and it really helped. But the biggest thing that helped was that it cleared the pathway to whatever was going to happen, just happen with divine timing and grace. And that's what has happened. So far, my kids are still in public school. There are some beautiful transformations that are happening here in California with people standing up for their rights, and mothers aren't going to, mothers are going to bat for their children. It's actually a great time to be alive. And I know that sounds kind of weird, but this is a great time to really step into our power, get to know ourselves. And so it's great that you guys are here. I cannot wait to introduce Hope Fitzgerald. She was on Sunday. If you missed her show, she kicked off the Spirit Week. And we will also have, if you missed the show, we'll also have and this is the first time I'm announcing this, a watch-a-thon next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Watch out for that email, because you'll get another opportunity to watch her show. But without further ado, I'm going to ask Hope. Hello, how are you?
Very well. Thank you, Nikki.
Yes. So why don't you go ahead and briefly explain, what you do, and then we'll go into what we're going to be talking about today.
Okay. Well, I do a couple of things. One of the things that I talked about in the call that we had a few days ago was I talk about the infinity wave, which is this 10th dimensional, and I know that might sound weird to some people, but it's a very purified energetic. And I use it for all kinds of things. I've taught it to lots of people. It's basically a figure 8 made of flowing water. And that might seem ridiculously simple. And that's part of the beauty of it, because as a moving energetic, that is composed of love and compassion at a very pure level. This watery shape can be used to help people connect in communication. It can help people to, within themselves, develop, open their hearts within themselves, bring their body into a cleansing state, bring them into coherence, bring them into peace and ease. There are 1,001 applications of this energetic. When you think about praying, how we often pray to something or pray for something, all we have to do really is bring the infinity wave into our beings, and it acts as a bath of love and compassion, which actually creates a prayerful space within us, to begin with. And then we can use it to just go through the course of our lives and try to use it to rope in a sense, pull in the things that we enjoy, invite peace and ease and flow in every area of our lives, especially the sticky ones. So I could go on and on. But this is, the last thing is, it is a way to connect with the earth, with the divine, with nature, and so that we start to have experiences that are first person. And we're not just reading them in a book. We're not just hearing about them from somebody like me. Each person has a divine right to have these in-person, firsthand experiences. And that is what's going to change the dynamic of the planet. And I totally agree with you. It's a very, very exciting time to be here.
Yes, it is.
So that's one avenue, and then the other one is my dowsing. These are the dowsing rods, and these are. This is how I coach people. This is how I help people with their crossroads, and I also help people, as some people are really spiritual seekers, and they are ready for the next level in their spiritual development, and so I'm here to help with that. A lot of times we will have strong feelings about something and moving in a certain direction, and that's only one piece of the puzzle. So with the dowsing, I'm able to break it down to see, well, that might be where your emotions are going, but let's see where your mental field is, and let's see where your physical field is, and let's see where your spiritual field is on that question. And once we start to open that up and really expose all these different elements, then we can really get some work done that that is satisfying, I think, to most people who go on the ride with me. So,
yeah. I found you through God Self University through Patrick Durkin. So what is your role with God Self University?
Well, that's a good question. Patrick and I were on, I've known Patrick since he was a boy. And so we've been friends over the years. And I have, been one of his primary turn-to people with my dowsing when he has had to make choices about which way to go. Mm-hmm. So we were in deep conversation a couple of years ago. This is after he'd taken some of my workshops and started to use the infinity wave in his own life. Mm-hmm. And one of these conversations, we were just hatching this idea. We were talking about getting something together where there's some unifying collective, and I can't remember which one of us came up with this in a sentence. They said the word God self. Mm-hmm. And after a few minutes, I think he said, God self, that's really good. That's really what we're on about here. Uh-huh. And so out of that came this idea to actually call it God Self University, because I'm very interested in education. I have been a teacher of many different things. And I feel it's just, well, it's how we communicate the news, what's the latest and what things work. So I felt like, I would like to go to a university where there is a department on sound, and there's a department on a healthy body, and there's a department on, divination even, and there's a department on how to work with nature. And like, can you imagine all the departments, right? So this started to just become a fountain erupting with ideas.
Yeah.
And so that's how we started to work together on crafting it. So initially I said that I would be happy to, run the curriculum, because that's really where my passion is. And, but it's taken a little while, and we've been gathering some of our experts. At God's Self, we're going to have a lot of free material from a lot of different people who are already well known in the field, in their various fields, so that a person can walk through the gates of God's Self University and look at all the different departments and say, oh, I'm going to watch a free video, or I'm going to read a free download about that. And then I'm going to go here, and then I'm going to go there. And after a while, there will be courses offered that are at the 101 level, the 202 level, the 303 level, and graduate level, and so on. So that's what and at the same time, we're offering experts sessions with them. So, I'm there available to have a session with me if anybody needs that. So it's kind of, I think it's a unique approach. It's a collective, and we're very careful about what material we post and who we're gathering in. We really want it to be top notch. And, sometimes we use the dowsing rods to determine that. And so that's pretty much what God's Self University is about.
Beautiful. I love it. We've had so many experts from God's Self come on. We had Artemis Kazane, and we have my love, Lori McCracken. I love her. And then, we have Patrick and Karen. Karen Abrams. Yeah. So it's been just definitely a full-blown experience with God's Self University on Mega Wellness Summit. It's been great and very well received here. So hopefully God's Self is expanding with some of Mega Wellness Summit listeners, which is great, right?
Absolutely. And I'm so grateful to you for being such a cheerleader for it.
I am. I love it. I love the concept of it. I love the curriculum. I love how much it has really helped me in my own life and my spiritual development. Because we all come to these life instances where we feel so alone. We feel like we're in a dark place, and we can't move out of it. And what do you do when you're in that situation? And that's where I was last year after the first summit that I did, actually. And that's when Patrick called me, and he's like, I got to tell you about this. And so, that's where that began. And so it's great to see how much God's Self has evolved over the year. And so I love it.
Yeah, we're still in early days, and it can go a lot of directions. I mean, sometimes people ask me, well, are you competing with so-and-so or such and such, as a teacher? And that's so foreign to me, because the world we're moving into is about cooperation and no lack. So to me, I think shows like yours, Nikki, other shows, radio, any opportunity for a teacher to get out there and be heard, have an interaction is, in my boat, thumbs up.
Me too.
I think there's a teacher out there for everybody. And we have this amazing thing called the internet, to provide the avenue for that. What I love about God's Self is that the vision of it is that it'll be one-stop shopping. so that, if you want to learn about one topic, you can. And if somebody else's voice is really calling you, you can flip over and listen to that one. And after a while, you get a lot of different perspectives, a lot of different approaches. And this is just going to shore us up and not have us feel like we're all alone in our bunkers, which is a terrible feeling. I've been there. I get it. It's no fun.
I agree.
And it's not true, because there are lots and lots of people like us, and more all the time.
That's right.
And you're doing a great job spreading the word.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate that. But what I love most with all God's Self faculty is they make you feel like you're alive. Mm. Oh, what a feeling to feel alive. That's okay. You're so partnered up with a bigger source than yourself, and it feels so good. To get out of that darkness and into this light, and that you have support. It's very refreshing, and it's a beautiful thing what you and Patrick have created, and I'm seeing it succeed very much.
Well, he's mostly in the commander chair right now, so really have to hand it to him.
Yes, he's done really well. He's such a guy. He's a great guy. He's such a guy. I don't know what that means, but for those that don't understand what dowsing is and how it can really help, let's get somebody firsthand experience, if you don't mind. Let's take a caller and so they can experience it, because I think you can talk about it all day, but to actually experience it is a different story. So there are 3 ways to go ahead and participate with getting your questions answered. And so one way is to unmute yourself. If you're on the phone, press *6, and that will unmute you. Okay? Do we have a first caller? Let's see. I don't think that was on purpose. Omerit, can you hear us?
Hi.
Hi. You have a question? Good. How are you?
Sorry, I just signed on.
Oh, good. Do you have a question for Hope? I think it was
actually. Just 1 second.
Okay.
I wonder if she heard everything.
I do have a question. I'm sorry. I kind of in a relationship that I don't know, not satisfying quite for me, and I was just thinking of, I don't know, maybe starting as a family.
Could you say that again? I didn't catch that.
I'm thinking of I don't know, my relationship is not quite good right now with my husband. So I'm thinking if I should just start another family.
Uh-huh.
I kind of wanted to have a baby, but I just kind of don't feel like doing it with this person.
Wow.
Okay. So I'll just need the first name of your husband.
Sandy.
Sandy?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Sandy, yes.
Sandy?
Yes.
Okay. And your name again?
Lena.
Lena?
Yes.
Okay. So first I ask for permission. I ask, can I, may I, should I? And I do have permission. Okay. When the rods cross in the middle like that, that means a yes.
Isn't that cool?
Could you see them move?
Yes, of course. Yes.
Okay. I'm just going to also demonstrate a no. Okay. So that's no.
Yeah.
Now we might get some other rod action besides a clean yes and no. That's when it gets interesting. Okay. So Lena would like to know, is it in her highest physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual good to stay with her husband and have a baby with him? Her husband is Sandy. Okay, so the rods are going in about 25%. So now what I do is I ask, is it in Lena's highest physical good to stay with him? So that's a yes, a bit of a slow yes. And I'll go back to that. Is it in her highest emotional good? Is it in her highest mental good? Is it in her highest spiritual good? So perhaps he offers you some financial stability at this point, or some sense of knowing who you are and where you are, and like you have an identity attached to him. So there's some stability in that. But that seems to be the only thing that is holding you in this relationship. Does that sound accurate?
That's pretty much. I mean, I feel safe, but kind of, yeah.
Well, your heart, your mind, and your soul are not in it.
All right.
Wow.
So would it be, so now I ask, is there anything Lena can do about this to make it more positive? Well, there's a little bit you can do. Let's say she did those things, because we could figure out what those, would the relationship ever be in her highest physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual good? No. So you could do some things, but ultimately it's not going to be totally fulfilling for you.
Okay.
All right?
Wow. Does that answer your question? How do you feel now?
Yeah. That's all right. It's just kind of what it is. It just confirms, yes.
Confirms it for you.
Yeah.
So you have a beautiful road ahead of you and some things to take care of. And I'm sure that there's a little bit of fear in that for you. But that's okay, right?
Yeah.
Starting over and starting anew, you should be feeling excited, and good things are going to start happening.
Lena, would you like to know anything about the timing of this?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. So is it in Lena's highest physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual good to leave this relationship as soon as possible?
Mm.
So anytime now.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Interesting. Okay, thank you so much. I hope that answered your question. If you have more questions for Hope, you can contact her. I'll let you know how to reach Hope, okay?
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Take care.
Take care. Okay, so I think we have another caller. Eileen, are you wanting to speak to Hope?
Hello,
Eileen?
Nikki.
Hi, did you have a question for Hope? No?
Nikki.
Oh,
Do
we have a kind of a bad connection. Can you hear me okay?
Nikki, can you hear me?
I can hear you. This is Celine?
Yes.
Oh, hi. Okay.
Hi.
Celine, what's your question for Hope?
Well, I have a question for you and a question for Hope. Is that okay?
That's fine. Do you want to go on video, or do you want to stay with just
Oh, no. Video is good.
video is good. Okay, let's see
Video
your
is
beautiful,
good.
let's see your beautiful face. There we go. Hello,
Well, I'm not.
beautiful Celine. Okay, go ahead. What's your question?
Okay, so I have a question for you and a question for Hope. Is that
Okay.
okay? Okay, so, well, or for both of you, I was very moved by the webinar yesterday, the conversations about the vaccinations for kids. And
Okay.
so I had a conversation with my brother, his first baby. So first baby in the family, he just had it a year ago, because like now I'm very concerned. all the traditional your baby with the vaccinations and whatever the pediatrician says and stuff. And I try to have a conversation with him about it. And between him and my other brother, they basically told me that, they were going to do what their pediatrician tells them and continue to vaccinate this 1-year-old baby. So my question to you, Nikki, and Hope too, if you have insight, is of course, everybody is gonna do whatever they want, but I would like to maybe send them some videos, some books, or something, So instead of hearing it from me, which I don't know a lot about it yet.
Okay, first of all, I'm so excited for you. Can you hear me? I'm so excited for you because you are taking a stance. You see and feel that there is something not right.
Yes.
Bravo to you. Bravo to you. There are so many people that are sticking their head in the sand. Congratulations. I'm proud of you. The other thing, Dr. Sherry Tenpenny, okay? Look her up. She is
I'm good.
She is a #1 resource to go to. She is the first person that I listened to who persuaded me not to vaccinate my children. Okay? I didn't speak with her. I just saw her videos. Buy her books, get her videos, look her up on YouTube, contact her office, whatever you have to do, she will support you.
Awesome.
Yes. So
how do you spell her last name, Nikki?
TEN PENNY.
And Sherry with SH.
Yep. I'm going to actually put it in Dr. Sherry Tenpenny. See, I just messaged everybody with that spelling. If you go to the chat, you'll see it.
Oh, perfect. Oh, that's gonna be huge.
Yes.
That they can. But like you said, I do feel very strongly about it. Yeah, I would do anything for my nephew. So, or for any baby. I was very moved when you cried yesterday and all that. So,
it's a subject for me that gets me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
And you know what, Nikki? I think because I'm still anxious. I have anxiety after that conversation. I'm stressed. And I think also besides the whole vaccination thing, it's the whole thing about the healthcare and the cancer and just how things are with that. I think that was just the drop for me, and just having my family ridicule me and telling me that I was having witchy beliefs and that medicine always knows best, and the researchers and all that are influenced by the big food companies and government. And I've done a lot of research myself.
I know, and it's those who do their homework know best. What I want you to do is I want you to email me, Nikki.
Okay.
Nikki at nikkijensen.com. I'll put it again.
Oh, thank you.
I will support you. I've been through it all, so I know exactly how you feel. I know a lot of people in the industry, so we too can, we'll move forward together and make it a better situation and better feeling for you and support you through this.
Oh, well, that's super kind. Thank you.
You're welcome. What's your question for Hope?
Okay, Hope. So I don't know how to phrase this question, but I'm going to try. So I've been, I got into this whole, and I think the same as you, Nikki, because I got really sick, Hashimoto's, and I got diagnosed last October, having a lot of super debilitating, awful for a whole year. I was pretty much bedridden for a year. And so now, I got diagnosed and I started getting treated through a holistic clinic, which are the ones that finally found that, I bounced from doctor to doctor. And so yeah, I've been like on my road to recovery with all this awesome natural stuff, right? And the nutrition and just feeding myself emotionally, spiritually. And so my question for Hope would be, if I would love to know if I'm like on the right path, if I'm doing everything I need to be doing for my total recovery.
Okay, so does it look like Celine is doing everything she needs to be doing for her recovery? So not quite. There's more to be done, but let's just break that down a little. Is she doing everything she needs to do physically? Yes. In terms of your diet, in terms of your supplements, in terms of your sleep, how about water? Yeah. Some exercise, a little bit. Okay, so that part, your body seems to be in good shape. Let's talk about the emotions. So you need to work a little more on your emotional life, I guess. How about mental and your thinking? And how about spiritual? Yeah. So you've got the body down, and usually that's the first thing that we concentrate on when the body is screaming that it's not happy. So we start from the bottom, the bottom of the pyramid is get that body back. And then once that is stabilized, then we move on to the mental, the emotional, and the spiritual. So I think what they're suggesting is that, be careful about what you read, about what you watch. Be careful about who you talk with. You really need to be very picky about who you interact with and what comes into your being, because you're very tender still. And you almost have to think of yourself like a baby. Speaking of babies, that you wouldn't put a baby in front of the evening news, so it's treating yourself really tenderly, carefully. You're very vulnerable right now, and you want to build up your reserves in how you think about things and and therefore how you feel about things. All right, so you've got miles to go, but it's all really good that you've done the healing on your body that you have. So that's I think what they have to say.
Wow. So right on. I mean, and new things too. Like, I do feel I do feel, vulnerable, and I feel almost like like a baby, like a seedling that's coming out that you have to protect it from the wind and, exactly. Fragile. And
exactly.
And I already and even before I got sick, I've always been a sensitive person. I don't have like the thick skin that some people have. And when you say, Hope, to be careful with who I talk to and what research I do, do you have more details about that?
Well, no, I mean, we could, it's more that if when we go on a spiritual path, when we go on up the spiral of evolution for ourselves, and a lot of times a physical ailment is the thing that kicks us into that journey.
Okay.
Okay, so that was just step one. The sometimes what happens is we find that the people who have been in our lives before are no longer really fit with who we are trying to become, who that little seedling is trying to grow into. Old friends can sometimes make the leap with us into our next iteration, but not always.
What does
Family,
iteration mean?
the next version of ourselves, our next existence. Because it's like, taking off the shell of the old person and growing into the new skin. And you're going to have different ways of thinking and different ways of feeling. And suddenly people who have been with you all along, including family members, are just not going to fit. They're not going to feel good. So you have to limit your exposure to them until you get stronger within yourself, that you get your core, not just your physical core, but your emotional core and your mental core and your spiritual core. So if you find yourself being thrown into anxiety, being thrown into fear, being thrown into despair, whatever you were doing and whoever you were with that brought you to those places, you want to go, gee, maybe I don't want to do that as much or at all. Okay.
Yeah.
And later on, when that core, all those cores are stronger, you'll be able to withstand it. I'll give you a quick example. I lived in New York City for 8 years. To live in New York City, you have to completely adapt to being a New Yorker. You have to live at a pace. You have to not mind people squeezing you on a bus or a subway. You have to be content to be in your little apartment. Like, there are ways that you have to adapt your mind and your whole being to live in New York.
Sure.
Well, then I left New York and went a lot of different places. But when I started to go into the next iteration of myself about 5 years ago, 6 years ago, I no longer could be comfortable in New York. I was too tender. I would get there and in an hour, I'd be out of my mind. I'd have to get out because it was too much for me at that time. Now I can go to New York and I'm fine again. But we go through these series, I call them peduncles, where we get squeezed and we go through the bottleneck and we become a new self when we come through. The atom turns into a molecule. This is how we evolve. So you're just coming through your peduncle and you can't be exposed to everything. Things that used to work aren't going to work right now. It doesn't mean they never will. It just means right now you have to really think of yourself as that little baby and what you want to expose it to. Does that make sense?
Yeah, thanks. That was a great explanation. Absolutely. And can I ask your, I'm sorry, what are the name of the sticks again?
These are dowsing rods.
The dowsing rods. Can I ask you your dowsing rods something else?
Well, I just want to make sure other people get a chance. So
yeah, I'm like totally hugging you because this is awesome.
It's up to Nikki as the moderator.
You know what, Celine? I really do think that you should contact Hope and get some, get a full session with her because it's definitely worth it. And so then you get one-on-one and then all these different energies that are not on the call, it's just your energy.
Correct.
So I think that would be really a great experience for you and to really expand emotionally as well, as Hope did say. So I wish the best of luck. And I hope that you do email me so we will be in touch, okay?
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, so who do we have next? Once again, I'm just going to let you know there are 3 ways to go ahead and ask Hope a question. So one, you can press *6 to unmute yourself. You can go ahead and click on Manage Participants if you're in video from your computer or smart device. Click on Manage Participants, and you can raise your hand, and I will call on you and unmute you. Okay, so we have one. I'm getting to you. This is Steph. Hold on, Steph. Unmute. Steph?
Hi.
Hi, is your name Steph? Really, Steph?
Yep, Stephanie.
Perfect. Hi, how are you? What's your question for Hope? Steph? Oh, she unmuted herself.
Oh, sorry. Hello?
Okay, you're back.
Oh, I don't know what happened. I actually just kind of, I guess I don't have a specific question, but just like where my life is going. Um, I do have like a concern about my job right now. I don't know if that's too vague or.
Well, it's a little vague, but would you like to know if it's in your highest good to stay at that job?
Yeah, that would be helpful.
Okay. So should I work with Steph? Okay. So Stephanie would like to know if it's in her highest physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual good to remain working at the job that she's at currently, the job that she has currently. Okay, so can you see that one rod is in and one rod is just straight ahead?
Right.
Okay, so this usually means that it's sort of like saying, well, on the one hand, it's this, and on the other hand, it's that. So now we're going to try to track this down and see what it's about. I feel very strongly you're of two minds about this job. And so that's, I think, what they're measuring. So let's ask, is it in Stephanie's highest physical good to keep this job? And that's a very strong yes. Is it in her highest mental good to keep this job? No. Is it in her highest emotional good? No. Is it in her highest spiritual good? No. It's like, it's the same reading as the first caller. So Stephanie, you're staying with it because it's giving you a paycheck and it's secure. Is that right?
Right.
Okay. What I'm curious about is this a career that you enjoy?
Yeah, I mean, I like my job. It's just difficult there, but I'm on maternity leave right now, and I didn't plan on, going back to work full time, and they're not really giving me an option. So I'm like, do I quit this job? Do I stay? I guess.
So my question is, just as a career path, is this the kind of work you want to be doing in the future?
Probably no.
No, the rod said no. So this is why you're being given the reading that you're given. So part of you wants to move straight forward, wants to go into something else. And part of you is just been staying with the status quo. Is there something else you're curious about, another kind of work that appeals to you?
I don't have anything. I was just thinking about like starting a business, like that I can work from home and like sell something like products.
Yeah, can you see the rods?
Yep.
Yeah, they really like that idea. I don't think they want you separated from your baby. Yeah. They're encouraging you to be in the home, to be working there, to be building a life out of the house. And it's not to say you couldn't do part-time work somewhere in the future if you needed to supplement your income. But I see you sticking very close to the home. Yeah, and the rods are confirming that. How does that feel to you when you hear it?
Oh,
How does that feel to you when you hear it?
I mean, yeah, that's what I want, I guess.
There you go. That's it.
You just don't, I think you're confused about the steps to get there. You have a little bit of fear on how to get there. Is that kind of right as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand that. I understand that fear completely. Is that going to be okay for her? So when she, Hope, when she steps outside of that fear, will she be okay financially to make a different change for herself?
Well, I don't know about financially, but I can say that that it's not to step forward out of the fear. The fear comes along with you for the ride until you've got something going, or you turn around and tell it to stop. But fear is just a natural part of doing something new. And, you know, we don't find courage until we have fear. So this is a courageous step, but it can also be fun. It can also be fascinating. Think of all the things you'll be learning. You'll be researching different kinds of jobs that you can do from home. It's exciting. So it's really a whole bundle of things. And fear can be a great motivator, you know, to really make something happen. So I say befriend your fear and use it to your best advantage. It doesn't need to limit you, you know. You are just, it feels very clear to me that this is where your heart is, that you want to stay there, that you want to be queen of your castle, and managing your domain are the actual words that my guidance are giving me. You want to manage your domain. So, you know, you can use this time to start researching and find out what it is that really makes your heart sing.
I love that, Hope. Thank you so much, Steph. And please contact Hope to get more clarity, okay?
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Take care.
Good luck.
Okay. We have Eve.
Oh, yay.
Here we go. Hi, Eve.
Hi, Nikki. Hi, Hope. Hello again.
Hello again.
So, I guess I would have thousands of questions for you, but I will try to go to the main one. I know now that I have been sent on the spiritual path. I denied it for a really long time. So the best way to say it is that nothing else is working for me. Okay, but I am grateful. Nothing else in my life at the moment. Apart from this development, nothing else is happening. So I know I have been given time to, you know, finally get my own power, if you want, back in a humble way, okay? And so I have been told that I will be a healer. I can sense the relationship with nature. And I know we can have a big impact with energies and the infinity wave, as you were saying. Actually, I have used it with trees and, you know, the land, and it has been a beautiful experience. So thank you. And but a healer for people as like a one-to-one thing. I don't know. I can do it in a group. I have studied shamanism, so we do healing ceremonies. well, I don't really feel it's me as a person, and I mean as my job. I mean, I love to do it to support, but I don't see myself as, maybe setting up, being an official healer. So, but apparently I'm wrong, okay? So this is one of the questions. The other one is, I'm currently living in Switzerland, and it's very, very, I'm very isolated from my family. My daughters are in America, my family is in France. I'm trying to set up some business projects here, which would be good too, as a healing thing, but not as a direct healer. And nothing has worked yet. So my question is, should I stay in this country at this stage? And try to get, I do get some signs, I do get some guidance, but, sometimes we get a little bit lost, So.
Sure. Well, first of all, Eve, I wish you would get yourself over to Marseille in May and join me on my trip to southwestern France.
I've been there.
Yeah, but you haven't been with me.
No, not yet. That would be lovely.
It's a completely, I'm not trying to toot my own horn here, but the way we journey is altogether different.
Yes.
So, I could work with you individually. Anyway, besides that, okay, so the question Eve has is, should I first of all? Okay. Eve would like to know, first of all, if it's in her highest physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual good to become a healer, as in a practitioner. That's her work, that's her main job. Is that in her highest good? Okay, so I get about a 50%, it's like 30%. So is it in her highest physical good to become a healer? Is it in her highest mental good? Is it in her highest emotional good? Okay, so you know what this means? This means that, let me see how much, it means that part of your time actually is to be spent as a healer.
Okay.
But let's find out how much. So what percentage of her time, her overall work time, should be spent healing? 5%, 10%, 15%, 20%, 25%. Okay, 25%. So you can heal, one day out of the week, maybe, or for a couple of hours, a couple of days.
Okay.
But 25% of your time is supposed to be doing that. And the second question was, where is the best place for Eve to be living right now? Is the most auspicious, the most beneficial place for Eve to be living Switzerland? No.
No?
No?
Okay.
How about France? Ooh.
Whoa.
They're like, come home.
To the south of France, right? I think.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Wow.
So you're being beckoned back, and you can take as much time as you need to make that happen, but you'll feel much better once you do that.
Yes. It is a dream of mine to, I would like to set up something here as a business, because I think it would be it would give it the right platform. But I don't intend to stay living here. But the business thing, you don't see it. It's not coming. No, big no. Right. Okay.
So there's something about your, you said to set up the business there because it would have a better platform.
Yeah.
In Switzerland.
Yes.
Is that true? Okay, there's something about that that's true. Let me dive into this a little deeper. So whatever the business is that Eve is working on, are you suggesting that Switzerland is the best place for her to set that up? Yes. and you're saying that she shouldn't, but you're saying she should live in France. So I don't know how you do that. You might have, yeah, you might have to make a compromise. You might need to get back to France more often, just to fuel yourself while you're getting this thing started. But Switzerland, I don't think it's the only place, right? No, it's not the only place that this could be set up. Yeah, there are other places. Have you started it already?
It's a long story. I had started something else with the wrong people. I lost a lot of money, and so now I'm starting a new idea with new people. And we think, because in Europe, most European countries, the rules are not really in favor of setting up anything. And also, if you want to do anything, with regards to natural products, Switzerland has a good quality, and then from there it's easy to, you're on a different level.
Got it. Okay, so they affirm that, but it's not your happy place. So you just need to get back to France to fill your buckets, fill your tanks.
So I work in Switzerland and live somewhere else with my computer.
Pretty much. I mean, you're going to be a bit of a nomad. That's the word there.
I think I have been in the past, Well, just a repeat. Yeah.
They're saying, because they don't want you to put roots down in Switzerland.
Okay. Super. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you so much. That was wonderful. I appreciate all of the questions and the answers. I hope that was fantastic. Good job, Hope. This is rocking. Okay. So Eve, you're amazing. Thank you so much. And now we have Tess. Hello, Tess. How are you?
Hi, greetings.
Hi,
How are you?
Tess.
Thank you for this. Hi, Hope. Excuse me, I'm having some COPD issues here, so I apologize. So bear with me, please, if you will. Thank you again for having this session. I am presently in Florida. My mom just passed away. I relocated here at her request. I didn't believe she was as ill as I guess she thought she was. She didn't look the part. Her veneer was beautiful. But during a same-day surgery, she had a massive stroke, and it was her will not to be revived. But prior to that, she had a carotid artery. She did come through with flying colors. So notwithstanding, I've relocated. My children are grown. My eldest son had been killed in Iraq, so that moved me to the Florida area initially. And then my companion, he passed away 2 years ago, so I have a lot of grief. My father's passed, and my stepfather, a lot of people have passed away, and I believe that my temple, like the spirit is willing but the flesh is weak, on my gooder stewardship, my mission to empower, to guide the growth of social entrepreneurs, especially artisanal social enterprise. And I feel led spiritually, but my body is not keeping up. Been having this problem with emphysema, but it's recurring, and it seems more cardiovascular. And I'm kind of annoyed with my own body. I'm like, what is, is it just the grieving? My body's so acidic. So I'm looking for, maybe I'm not supposed to stay in Florida. That's my surviving sons kind of indicated maybe I should go back to the Carolinas. I feel led to be mobile, but obviously, it sounds obvious, I guess, that I don't have the temple to support that walk right now. So.
Well, first of all, I'm just reaching out to you with my heart for all the loss that you've had. I'm so sorry to hear that. And walking the grief path is not easy. And the fact that you're dealing with it by really wanting to do service for others and helping people launch their genius ideas, I think is remarkable. So I really commend you for that. And Khalil Gibran, years ago in The Prophet, I remember reading something about love, and it had to do with the deeper your grief, the larger your container for love and joy. And to me, that's what came to mind when I heard your story. I find it one of the most remarkable things about human beings that can happen. So I wanted to say that. So are you asking if it's in your highest good to stay in Florida? Is that your main question?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. I need your name again. I'm so sorry. Tess.
Tess. Tess is called Teresa too.
I love Tess of the Dubervilles. So, okay.
Yes.
So should I talk with Tess? Okay. So Tess would like to know if it's in her highest physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual good to stay living in Florida. Yes, but I'm also going to ask to stay there all year round. No. Okay. So I don't know if you have the capacity to go to the Carolinas for some months of the year, because they like Florida for you, but there's also something about the Carolinas that seems to be very your happy place. And I don't know if you want to go there in the summer, for instance. Yes. The air would be very good for you. And where do you go in the Carolinas?
On the border, actually, I work on building sustainable communities. So I was on the border of North and South Carolina. So between west of Charlotte, I was looking at Greenville to relocate, maybe to Greenville, not so much live on the farm, but work. I'm looking to be with other people that are like-hearted and like-minded. That's my prayer. And here I'm looking at St. Petersburg to relocate to St. Petersburg. And ironically, the realtor said, "Oh, I'm from Asheville, North Carolina. I love Greenville, and I'm here." And so, so I'm kind of, but it's just not, things aren't happening the way they should happen. But a lot of it is because my stamina, my body is not keeping up with my heart's desire.
So emphysema, COPD, is my understanding of that is, well, I don't really have a great understanding of it. So I'm going to ask you, Tess, can it reverse itself? Can it improve?
Yes, it has. I engaged in juicing. I still do the juicing, not as more sporadically, because when I moved here, my mom was a heavy meat eater, where I go by blood type 2, and I'm definitely into the blood typing, and I complement, when I'm complementing the diet for my blood type, I'm better off. I was going to be institutionalized by my mother, ironically, 4 or 5 years ago, because she couldn't handle, she wouldn't be able to caretake me. And I decided, I was in prayer about 3 a.m, and the message was, and where I walk spiritually, I will say the Holy Spirit was to get on with living or get on with dying. You can't serve two masters, so I chose life, and I felt guilty about that. And that's survivor's guilt, outliving a child, especially killed traumatically when there's a lot of unanswered questions to Brett's death. But I chose life, and I was guided to the juicing Qigong. I responded very well to Qigong, and I coughed every minute of the day, so I've come a long way. But it's, again, I'm being presented, it's like going through the same story over and over again. I go backwards. I go 10 steps forward, 20 back. And it may be more cardiovascular this time, more the shortness of breath may not be the COPD. So I'm a little concerned that maybe I'm ignoring, some serious health issues.
Well, you certainly don't want to ignore any serious health issue. And for the amount of stress, I mean, the thing is, when you have an ongoing thing like that, any additional stress is going to have its effect. And seeing as you just lost your mom, and it was quite sudden, it seems to me that is contributing, yes, indeed, to your situation. You know what worked for you before. So going back to that, is very strongly suggested. Go figure out about the vascular thing. I think there's something about the Greenville situation that seems to plant a seed of hope, not to be, no pun intended, but plant a seed of hope inside you. The idea of you being with other people, the idea of working toward a community goal like that is exciting, and I think that is going to speed your healing as well. You know, once you get more stabilized, and let's just look at the timing here. So is it in Tessa's highest good on all 4 levels to stay in Florida for how many months till she stabilizes? 1 month, 2 months, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, a year and 1 month, 2 months. Okay, so like a year from June, which I know seems like a long way away, you could head up to Greenville. It doesn't mean you can't be communicating with them or visiting them between now and then, but I think you need to stay put to sort of get everything in order. Let's ask about St. Petersburg too.
Yeah.
Isn't Tessa's highest physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual good to relocate to St. Petersburg? No. They sort of want you staying put and restabilizing, getting your health back, having good doctor care, and getting yourself strong again for the next phase of your life, which will be a year from June.
Wow.
How does that feel to you?
Well, I've been looking into, because I was hoping to purchase and set up a hub for children, because my focus, in fact, I'm working with a friend of mine, her son's in distress, a teenager, like many teens, as part of my ministry. And so I was trying to make myself available, and I'm working on publishing my children's books and other stories. Right now, they're being illustrated. So I thought I could have the hub to support the as a social enterprise and nonprofit activities. And so I have my mind map, if you will. So I was looking, but every time I look in St. Petersburg, nothing's popping out for me, even though I feel at home there.
No, Tess, honestly, I don't think you should be doing anything for, I know this is going to be weird for you, anything for anybody else for this year. Okay.
Oh, wow.
This is a time for you to heal. And you can do your books, you can get your books published, you can get them going, but you're spending your energy where you can't afford to spend it. So it's not actually fueling you. This is a quiet time. This is a gentle time. This is a time to just be with any friends who are near and dear to you, any family that's near and dear to you, and just take it down to first gear. Do things that you love, even things you haven't tried before. Like take a canvas to the beach and paint, even if you've never painted, or take a class in painting and try it. Try other forms of expression. This is a time to go inside, to deal with any remaining guilt that you have, which is not necessary and not helping you. That's what this year is about. Meanwhile, you can plant seeds for what's going to happen next. You don't have to slam doors shut, but you do need to be very protective of yourself and let yourself get back to strength.
Can I ask one more question? It's about the sale of the house that I'm in, which is my mother's. I'm handling the estate. So should I'm not comfortable here where, even though I'm of age, but I feel it's not feeding my soul. I feel it's very draining. There's a lot of death, and it's like this recurring theme of death, death, death. Should I relocate, at least in the area, someplace else, if not St. Petersburg.
That's fine. Yep, you can sell the house and move somewhere that really that you like, that's sunny and lovely.
Okay.
I love
And
that.
what
Thank
about,
you. Yep, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just concerned about, I'm sorry to take up so much time. This young man, Trey, I'm very concerned about his well-being, and I want to advocate, if anything, financially support him being in a place where he'd be safe for children. Right now he's in legal custody, we'll say that. It's a bad situation, but my heart goes out to him. And I promised his mother she couldn't get on this call that I would bring him up because she's contending with the matter right now. So how far should I go with it? How far should I go? How committed? Well, what can I commit resource-wise to his health and well-being?
What are the parameters? I mean, we're talking $500 or $5,000. I
he needs about probably $50,000 to get him through a program for Boys Ranch. Yeah, they're costly.
Okay, let me ask, is it in Tessa's highest physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual good to spend somewhere in the neighborhood of $50,000 to help this boy, Troy, go through a program? Okay, so I've got 50%. So I think that means that you should spend $25,000 and let their family raise the rest of the money.
What I'm being led, yeah. That's what yes.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you so much, Tess. And again, if you have any more questions, I definitely encourage you to reach out to Hope for a one-on-one session. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, everybody, I'm sorry, but we have come to our time, the end of time with Hope today. I just want to say thank you to Hope. You are truly gifted in so many ways. You gave so many people such clarity today, and I can't thank you enough, Hope, really, honestly. This was fantastic. This was worth thousands of dollars. So everybody got to experience this for free today. So what a gratuitous day.
Well, I'm always grateful to be able to offer this. And, I always tell everybody, run the information through your own system and see how it sits with you. Most of the time I ask, how does that feel to you? Because you are your own best barometer most of the time. Usually with the dowsing, what's being exposed is what you're really thinking or feeling or being inclined to, what direction you're being inclined to move into. It's your intuition that's coming out to be seen. And then there's a little extra, but always I try to help people to listen to themselves, listen to that little voice, that little inclination, and the dowsing really helps to make that happen.
That's right.
I'm grateful to be an instrument of that.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Hope. Again, for everybody who wants to go ahead and book a session with Hope, it's definitely worth going to book a session with Hope, get your questions answered one-on-one with her. And Hope, you can book that session through two ways, through God's Self and through your, it's we-infinity.com. I will have those links ready for everybody in today's email. I will hopefully get those out by 5. They should be out by 5. The problem is the recording of this takes a long time to upload. So please be patient with me. I appreciate your patience very much. And we will, if you have any questions, give me or send me an email, Nikki@nikkijensen.com. Yes, Hope.
I just wanted to mention, do we want to talk about the drawing at all?
Go ahead. Sure.
Well, I like to offer a half-hour free dowsing session. to a lucky person. There's a link, I think, on Nikki's site where you can click to enter the drawing. It means you sign up for my website, but what that does is it puts you on a special list that I only have Nikki's people on the list. And after a little time has gone by and all the reviews have happened, all the watch-thons and so on, then what I do is I take the list and I douse from top to bottom and bottom to top for the person who is most in need. And it's always just boiled down to one person, and then I contact that person and I give them a session. So if you want to put your name in the ring, sign up.
I will have that link for everybody, so no worries. If you're like, where's the link? Don't worry. I will get that to you, and you'll be able to enter in your name for the drawing. Thank you again, Hope. Thank you to everybody who is on the call today. Deeply appreciate your presence. And everybody have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Nikki.
Thank you, Hope. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Have a good one. Bye-bye.